Hello and welcome to this video on Dhammapada, chapter 5, verse 1. A word of caution. The name of this chapter, Balavaggo, the chapter or section on balas. In Sanskrit, the primary meaning of bala was nothing to do with being foolish. It meant in one's infancy or young, and it was only by extension that it came to mean a fool, and for example, originally applied in that foolish sense to a grown-up person who was behaving childishly. So do bear in mind, in Sanskrit, the primary meaning young, and then only by extension an older person who behaved like a juvenile, childish, in a pejorative sense. Whereas in Pali usage, the primary meaning is foolish, and it is occasionally found in the meaning of young, but primarily foolish. So, as usual, I will read verse 1 slowly twice, and you can follow me. Preferably following me on the analysis that preferably following me just as I speak it, but if you need to, you will have with you the analysis here that I have done, which you shall all have separately available on the Google Drive. Right, here we go with the recitation of the verse. Digha jagarato ratti digham santasya yojanam digho balanam samsaro saddhammam avijanatam. And again, Digha jagarato ratti digham santasya yojanam digho balanam samsaro saddhammam avijanatam. And my apologies, I think I might have put up the wrong document in front of you. Chapter 4, of course, we're doing chapter 5. Right, Digha jagarato ratti. The adjective digha in its stem form, we'll all know from the Digha Nikaya, for example, the longer discourses. Rati, a feminine noun, so it takes the corresponding feminine adjective, digha. Jagarati, the verb jagarati, is to be awake. The present participle, short form, is therefore jagaram, and the genitive is jagarato, so of the one who is awake. So digha, long, ratti, the night, jagarato, of the wakeful, of one who is awake. I mean, the night seems long if you've got insomnia. Digha jagarato ratti. Digham santasya yojanam, long, the yojana. It's like the Old English word league. It's a measure of distance. Seems to have been about 12 miles, I think. Digham santasya yojanam. Long is the yojana. Long is the league. Santasa, of the weary. Digho balanam sansaro. So we've had digha, feminine noun, to go with ratti, digha, feminine form of the adjective, to go with feminine noun ratti. Digham, neuter form of the adjective, to go with the neuter noun yojanam. And digho, masculine form of the noun, to go with sansaro, sansara. Digho balanam sansaro. long is the samsara of fools, or long is samsara for fools. Sadhammam avijanatam. Balanam, genitive plural of fools. The last word in this line, avijanatam, is also the genitive plural. This is the short form present participle. So janati, he knows. Janam, knowing. Vijanam, again, knowing into, having cognizance of. Avijanam, not knowing. Genitive plural, avijanatam. So, digha jagratorati, long the night of the wakeful. Digham santasya yojanam, long the league of the weary. Digho balanam samsaro, long the samsara of the foolish, or long is samsara for fools. Sadhammam avijanatam, who do not know the sadhammam, the true doctrine. And this avijanatam, present participle, treated as an adjective in the genitive plural to agree with balanam. That is to say, long is the samsara of fools who do not know, or long is the samsara of fools unknowing. So it's of fools, balanam in the genitive plural, avijanatam also in the genitive plural, unknowing, who do not know the sadhamma. A couple of points here. We have to be careful in Pali often of words that sound the same, look the same, but in fact are of different meanings. And we have a good example here. I'm just going to share my iPad screen with you. Oops. So I've set this out for you in the TypeScript, but so often we see words that are identical in Pali, even though with entirely different meanings. Just take an example more or less at random. Assa, meaning his. Assa, horse. And also, oops, the other one, assa, you may be. That's the optative from the root as. That's the second singular optative. So all of these are entirely different and unmistakable in Sanskrit. So assa in Sanskrit is asya, and assa horse in Sanskrit is ashwa, and assa you may be is sya in Sanskrit. This is one of the many great advantages of knowing Sanskrit, particularly for Pali learners, in that what is otherwise incomprehensible and untransparent becomes immediately understood when you know the Sanskrit forms. And this is why now you get this how Santa, two entirely different meanings. How could such contradictory meanings be in the same word? Santa meaning peaceful, Sanskrit shanta, and Santa meaning weary, Sanskrit shranta. Note again in this verse the loss of the non-use, or loss of the verb to be. In fact, there is no verb at all, no obvious verb in this verse 1. And it follows the same pattern that we could use in English, especially in poetic English. The night is long for the wakeful. The league or the journey is long for the weary. But we could equally say in poetic diction, long the night for the sleepless, long the way for the weary, long samsara for fools, omitting the is, as so often happens in Sanskrit and Pali, and especially verse. So that is all on chapter 5, verse 1.